I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis. Today we're going to check out some new gear from EMAX USA, and I'll try to put a link down there below for them. They sent me this box full of goodies. It's some new Babyhawk stuff in here. I don't know if you've seen some of the new frames they've released, but I have a whole ton of new frame parts and stuff to show you guys in this box. And also I have some packs of those AVAN props. I have several different styles in here, so I'm going to show you some video footage of how well those fly, and we're also going to take a little closer look at some of these new translucent Babyhawk frames. A lot of guys are asking me what micro should I start out with, and a lot of times they're asking me AR-Fun 95, that new AR-Fun Pro. That's a great one. Also consider the Babyhawk. I have it in here somewhere. The Babyhawk is a great place to start, mainly because for me it's been reliable and it's a lot of fun to fly. I've flown it off of cliffs and playgrounds and big wide open fields and in between trees, and it's proven to be one of the smoothest flying micro brushless quads out there, especially if you want to look at one of my previous videos and add my custom PIDs on this. You'll have a really nice smooth flying Babyhawk. It does actually make a difference getting the right tune on this brushless micro. But let's go ahead and dive a little closer into this pile, and let me show you some of the new stuff from EMAX. Okay, so I've got my cup of coffee ready, and I got all my new EMAX gear over here to the right, and we have this new translucent Babyhawk frame sitting here. I just wanted to show you guys up close and personal. This tower is all translucent, and it's kind of cool. You can see inside, you can see the interior of the quad. You can see all the wires running around, and the very bottom. It's kind of cool looking, a little bit different than that original solid white frame. Some people said looked kind of like a Phantom. This is the top that goes on it. And you know, some people said, oh, these frames are plastic. I'm not a big fan of plastic multi-rotor, but you know, because of the strength issue, the quality to strength ratio is kind of maybe lower. But for all my flying that I've done with this, I have only cracked one frame. And you guys, if you watch this channel, you know I abuse pretty much everything I get a hold of, mainly so that I can show you how durable it is, and I kind of want to see what things are capable of. So yeah, I cracked one frame, and it cracked right here in this spot right here, and I think that's probably a weak point because there is that little hole right there where that motor wires come out. But these frames are like $7.99, so if you make an order for a Babyhawk, I'd suggest trying to go ahead and order a couple extra frames. You might only need one as long as you're flying this Babyhawk. So they're pretty easy to transfer over if you need to take these electronics out and put them on a new frame. It has that sort of VHB mounted flight controller like I've shown you guys before on the channel. You just put a piece of VHB here and flat mount it right there as best you can, that femto flight controller. And then you run your ESCs out on the arms. Now, some guys are putting bigger ESCs out here. They're dremeling this spot out so they can add 12 amp, and we should see some larger ESCs coming pretty soon too, maybe up in the 20 amp range, so we can definitely get a 3S Babyhawk going. But people are already flying these on 3S. I don't fly it on 3S because I don't want to compromise my power system. But the prop guards, they're also translucent on this frame, and the tower, of course, like I said before, and the top plate. So we do have a couple new different styles that they released, and I'll show you those. First off was blue, and I had a hard time picking. They asked me, what color would you like for your translucent Babyhawk? I said, well, I'll take the pink one because why not? But I had a hard time picking between this one and the blue one. I really like the blue one a lot too. A friend of mine has the red one, and that one looks cool as well, but this blue one actually looks really neat. It kind of reminds me of the old Apple iMacs, sort of that same color scheme. These kind of snap together there. So there's the blue one, and we have that original white one. It's this one. And this one gets a little dirty over time, but hey, that's white for you. So we have blue, white, and then I have red. I was telling you guys, my friend has this one. This one looks super cool. They also come with a pack of screws when you get the frame. These are M2s, and those go up through the side plates right here. These two spots right here, they go up through there. Well, that's the red one. The red one looks pretty cool too. I like the profile on these. And these frames, like I said, they're pretty durable. They're not bad for plastic frames. And then probably one of my favorites is the black frame. The black frame looks super cool for some reason. I'm probably gonna end up transferring off the pink translucent frame to this black frame. Look at this guy. This looks super cool. I really like this frame a lot. Pull that top plate off so you can see that. This one just looks way different. And the cool thing about this is too that you can get different color towers. So if you wanted like a black frame and you wanted to add like a red tower on here, you could do that as well. You could add this red tower on here, so kind of mix it up a little bit. But they also have these different towers. We have a red one, that translucent pink one like I showed you on this one over here. And we've got translucent blue, so you could do blue and black, or you could do red and blue, white and blue, and so on. That's pretty cool. And we also have they sent me a solid pink one, so you could do solid pink and black, or blue, however you wanted to do that. Whoops, I caused a domino effect. All right, so the next one I have one more over here, I'm pretty sure. I guess that's all of them. Well, the other one would be white. So, and then you also have different color back doors for these towers. So there's a pink one, translucent pink, translucent blue, and translucent red. Now let's talk about this new EMAX battery. I got a couple of these in the box, and these are like $6.99 a piece. So if you want to test these out, order a couple of them. And they're nice for a few reasons. They're 50 milliamp lighter than the traditional 350s that I fly. This is that King Kong battery. 350 milliamp. This one's 35C. This one's also 35C. And on the 1104s, they seem to perform pretty well on 35C. I do have one battery that's quite a bit higher in the C rating. That's that Eachine 450 80C, but this one's getting a little bit heavy, and it's quite larger. So when you get heavier, you're gonna play around with you're gonna mess up your power to weight ratio a little bit with the Babyhawk, because obviously the bigger battery you get, the heavier it's gonna fly. So lighter the battery is gonna be better. But you're gonna get a little less flight time out of this one, obviously, with 300 milliamp capacity. So I'm getting 3 to 3.5 minutes with this battery, but I'm also kind of punching the throttle a lot. But EMAX designed this battery specifically for the Babyhawk, and they did something on here that was really smart. They made the balance connector right here a lot shorter than some of these other ones. And look at this, we don't need the balance connector to be 1.5 inches to 2 inches off the back of the battery, because a lot of times I have to stick them in between the power wire and kind of wind it up to get it out of the way, because what happens is when you're flying these on these micros, this super long balance lead ends up kind of sometimes getting in my props, and I hear a clicking noise on my quad, and it's because these sometimes get up into the props. So cheers to EMAX for making this short and kind of understanding what we need, and also a shorter JST cable too. So it was really smart of them to design it like that. Now, if you're watching my video, I'm about to probably save you about $50. One of my friends recently took his prop guards off of his Babyhawk, and what happened was he broke one of them, and he took it off. So it came with these screws right here. I'll just show you those a little bit closer. It came with these screws in there, and these are longer. These are specifically for the prop guards. If you get a Babyhawk and you break this, which does happen, these do break. They're not the best plastic. It's kind of flexes and it's thin and cheap feeling. So you might break your prop guard. When you do, don't put the original prop guard screws back into the bottom of the motors after you remove the prop guards, because it'll go up into the motor and you will kill all 4 of your motors at once. I had a friend just do that last weekend and his Babyhawk was brand new. The way you're going to avoid that, when you go on the Babyhawk EMAX USA website to look for spare parts, or if you order one from them, go ahead and go into the spare parts category and order yourself a hardware pack. It's $5 for the hardware pack and you get all the screws on that frame. But what's most important about this hardware pack is the fact that you do get number one, that infamous M1 Allen wrench that no one else has. That comes along with this hardware pack, so that's really important. I had to search through my entire toolbox to try to find an M1 Allen wrench. I just didn't have one, and I finally found one for these these little tiny teeny M1 motor mount screws. So that's a nice thing that you get in there. So save that, put it somewhere where you know where it is, and you also get the screws for props. You get M2s for the top frame. And all these little bags are labeled. This is awesome. Screws for the motor using prop guards. You see that? Use propeller guard. So this is specifically for the prop guards. And this little bag right here is the most important bag in this entire screw kit. This is screws for the motors without the propeller guard. So take your props off. Make sure you have this hardware pack so you have the original screws without the motor guards. Very important. This is the most important thing for your Babyhawk, to save your motors. M2s, these are for the screws and nuts for the camera, and you get some more M2s. These are screws for the camera support on the back shell. But a pretty nice hardware pack for $5. It'll save you a lot of headaches and time waiting on another order for 4 more motors that you'd have to solder up if you ruined them by putting the prop guard screws through and up inside your motors. Now when you do order a prop guard kit, you're going to get the prop guards themselves and you're going to get the hardware pack that comes along with it. These are those infamous M1s, and this is a whole set right here for all 4 motors. Now like I said, these are the longer screws, so just keep that in mind. These are the blue ones. They also have red and black and the white prop guard, so plenty of color choices. So that's a pretty cool amount of new stuff from EMAX. I like the Babyhawk a lot, so I think it's a great flying quad. The brushless micros are just more portable. They're less obtrusive in a big field. People barely notice you're flying them, so that's what's fun about them. And they're getting to start to fly like 5-inch quads. So the new battery is cool. Let's go ahead and weigh that real quick and see what this one weighs. 16.2 grams there on this little tiny scale. And let's just go ahead and weigh the traditional 350, and that one's 20.8 grams. So you're saving a little bit of weight, not a ton of weight, but about 4 or 5 grams makes a difference on a brushless micro. And they also released some new colored props, and there's like a variety of different colors. I think they have red, blue, lime green, and by the way, they do have a lime green translucent frame. I just don't have a copy of that to show you. But they're like $13 for like 10 pairs, and if you know anything about micro brushless props, some of the more expensive ones per pack are like the gem fans. My favorite gem fans are like $3 and something a pack, so or $3 a pack. It's getting kind of expensive for a set of brushless micro props, but these are quite durable. They just kind of chip. I think I've broke like one of these ever, so it's a pretty durable prop. The only bad thing about this, and I want to see that we can use different props, a traditional standard mounting holes on the new Babyhawk. When that does come out, hopefully those have non-proprietary prop option as well. So now let's go outside for a short part of this video, and let's just show you how this Babyhawk flies with the prop guards on there. Normally I fly without prop guards. I feel like they fly a little better and a little truer without the prop guards on there. But if you're just starting out, don't worry about it. You're not going to make, it's not going to make any difference in performance for you. You're probably not going to notice it. But keep in mind that when you hit something really hard with these, it might bend back a little bit and kind of sit in that one spot. And when this comes around, it's going to hit this point right here. So one of the design flaws of this is that this can bend back a little bit. So you're going to have to kind of really bend it back out. And you have to be careful because you can break it right here. So there's a weak point right here. Keep that in mind. So let's go ahead outside and let's do some new flying with this pink translucent Babyhawk. Alright guys, welcome back from that flight test. Now I have a new prop from EMAX to show you guys, and I'm going to talk about the design features of this prop. And at first glance it looks like any other tri-blade prop out there. What's the big difference with this one? What makes it so special? And what's good about it? Their average price around $375 or so, $379 for a pack of 4. Approaching the $4 range is getting a little bit expensive. Now you can also get larger packs of them. I think there's like 10 packs or 5 packs or something. But what makes this prop so special and what makes it different? What makes it different right away is I was talking to the EMAX team while they were designing this, and they were kind of telling me a little bit about it. And it has had months of research and development. This wasn't just a prop they just kind of kicked out and said, hey, this is our new prop. It's awesome. It's better than everybody else's prop. So they made a lot of changes along the airfoil where you have more drag and less drag, and changing the profile of it, where they have the leading edge and the trailing edge. Also, the amount of the angle of attack on the prop was changed quite a bit various times to get the most efficient prop that they could get. And they added these little kicked up wing tips, prop tips out here, which reduce drag a lot, which is kind of nice. It creates a nice airfoil off the end of the prop. Now they also added a nice thick core in here, and what that does for you is gives you a lot of punch out, but out here you have a nice taper to the end of the prop, which gives you a nice smooth and quiet prop. On the 2306s, I was actually kind of amazed that this prop was as quiet as it was, because a lot of times when I hear something really loud and powerful, there you go, loud and powerful. Your mind thinks, okay, this is really powerful because it's really loud, right? Just like a car engine. The louder the engine, the more powerful we think it is. So these were extremely deceiving because they were really quiet on the 2306s for my setup. Now, what they also have on here, which is really neat, is the 2306s have motor notches at the very top. I believe the 2205s also have that on the very top of the motor. This prop is designed to hug the top of the motor. It has little tiny notches, as you can see in here, and so you don't get as much motor or prop slippage on the motor, and that's also kind of a nice feature. But what I like the most about this prop, aside from the performance, is the fact that it has a lower profile all around. See how flat this sits right here? This is not so kicked up like the Racecraft prop, and I'll show you the difference here. If I grab a Racecraft prop, you look at this from the side, look how tall this Racecraft prop is. This is really, really tall. And one of the problems with that, having this so tall, and see how these kind of curve up and out, some people are actually having these Racecraft prop hit their frame, because a lot of frames, sometimes they're designed at the base level where the prop is. They have clearance here, but they might have something sticking out up a little higher. So I've actually had people put these on, Racecraft on, and then they hit something because they just didn't realize they didn't have that clearance. But most frames should be able to clear this prop, but that is just one little slight design difference between these two. Now this is going to be a great prop for freestyle guys. You're going to get maximum punch and a really smooth prop out of this tri-blade prop. But for multi-GP guys, what prop should you go for? You want to go for the AVAN-S. This is the two-bladed prop, which is going to be the speed prop. And we'll talk about this one and look at this one a little closer up. And I'll also weigh both of these props to give you an idea of how heavy they are, both these different props and versus the Racecraft. So now we can look at this AVAN-S a little closer up, and what's this prop all about? What makes this one so special, or what makes it different than the tri-prop I just showed you? Well, this is a speed prop, and a lot of the multi-GP guys use two-bladed props, a single-blade prop, as a better, more efficient, faster prop than something like a tri-blade. Tri-blades are great for freestyle and high performance. If you want sort of a shorter flight time, you're going to get shorter flight time with this because it draws more amps from the battery, more voltage quicker from the motors, because you're grabbing more air. So with this one, it's a lot more efficient. You're going to get a little longer run time out of your battery, and your quad's going to fly a lot quicker. So on the bottom of this one, you have that same sort of motor notching here. It'll sit on top of the motor and hug the motor nicely. You can see those notches, specifically designed for the 2306 and the 2205 motors. And you have that sort of flat profile across the bottom here. The prop's not kicked up on the end. It's not raised up there, just on the very end of the wing tip there, the prop tip, for reduced drag and less prop wash. And again, if you compare this to that Racecraft prop here, you can see how much taller the Racecraft prop is next to this AVAN-S. So let's go ahead and weigh all three of these, and I'll show you the weight differences. Grab the scale, and I'll just weigh this speed prop real quick. The AVAN-S is 4 grams total weight, and the tri-prop probably not too much more. Oh, it's a gram heavier. One more blade on there adds almost another gram total, and this one I'm expecting to be heavier than any of them. Yep, 5.7 grams on the Racecraft. And they have a variety of different colors. You guys can get red, blue, clear. You can get green or like a fluorescent yellow. I just have these 3 colors here, but to me it doesn't matter what color I'm using. Mostly it matters about performance. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I feel like these older props here, this design sort of maybe drags the battery down too quickly, and they're a little heavier. So EMAX did a good job at designing a prop that was not only light and lighter than a lot of the other props out there, they perform really well, and they're efficient for the two-bladed prop for racing, which is great. They're also made out of a sort of a hard polycarbonate material. These don't break too easily. They're gonna sort of change color when they bend, but usually they don't snap unless you hit them really hard, but that's gonna happen with any prop. So I think they did a good job with their research, and they spent quite a bit of time developing this prop, which is great for us because now we get to reap the benefits. But you get a few different prop packs available. This is the AVAN-R over there and the AVAN-S right here. You can get them, I think they're in 5 packs. So enough tech talk, let's actually go outside and I'll show you a little bit of footage of these 2306s on this Leopard 230 frame, and we'll see how smooth and how nice these fly. I'll just show you a little bit of footage here. Thanks again for hanging out with me and checking out the new stuff from EMAX, guys. Alright guys, let's test out the tri-props, these AVAN tri-props first. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, out somewhere in the middle of Washington. I pulled over, looks like a nice little spot to just kind of rip a pack or two and test out these props. The first props I have are the tri-props on here, and those are kind of the freestyle prop. You can race with these, people do, but I like to keep these for freestyle. They have nice punch out. And like I said, they're pretty quiet, and I don't see a lot of prop wash, even like right there where I came over that tree and came back the other direction. Didn't seem to flutter. The camera doesn't look like it's vibrating any. And this was the quad that I took out to PIR with the Seattle Multi-Rotor group, and I made this in front of them the first day with this set of props on there. So I was a little bit nervous about doing that, and you know, I was not hoping for it, but I was thinking there was going to be some kind of a wobble or some issue that I'd have to tune out, but everything looked great and I didn't have to do anything, no tuning or anything. This just really performed well. So these are great freestyle props, and we'll test out the next set of props. I'll test out would be that single blade prop. I was being a little bit cautious here because I've never flown here before, so I'm not sure about the ghost branches. But this is the second flight I changed out the props to those blue ones that I showed you guys earlier. And again, I don't see any prop wash there. Everything seems to be pretty smooth. Just kind of cruising around. A lot of elevation changes right here, so I'm trying to keep my quad out of one of these trees because there's no one around, and this would be impossible to get my quad out of one of the top of these trees. But they're cool because they're tall and skinny, so it was a lot of fun. Just boost up to the top here. It seems to be a lot more efficient prop. I was getting 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes with just kind of cruising like this with these single blade props. And I'm flying these R-Line tattoo battery on this trip. Probably my battery of choice right now. Just kind of cruising around. This quad feels really nice and nimble and smooth, so this one came out really nice. But that's it for this review, guys. Thanks again for hanging out and coming on this road trip with me. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a nice week, and bye-bye.